The US government wants to buy 1 million Bitcoin as part of its strategic Bitcoin reserve. That's over $80 billion worth of Bitcoin at today's prices. And here's the crazy part. They want to do this all without increasing government spending. The same government that's drowning in over $34 trillion worth of debt, that has Musk and his Doge team going in, cutting spending, cutting social welfare, cutting jobs. That same government now wants to purchase 200,000 Bitcoin per year over a 5-year period for a total acquisition of 1 million Bitcoin. All of this without increasing government spending. Sounds crazy, right? Well, don't worry. I went through the Bitcoin Act and I did the math so that you don't have to. Let's get into it. Alright, so who's going to pay for this? Turns out the money isn't going to come from taxpayers or money printing. The majority of the funds are going to come from a revaluation of the US gold reserves. The US government owns over 8,000 metric tons of gold, but this gold is still valued at $42.22 an ounce. Now, the current market price of gold is well over $2,500 an ounce. What the US government wants to do is revalue the gold to the current market price, therefore unlocking that value and using it to buy Bitcoin. Assuming that the current market price is $2,500, this would unlock over $700 billion worth of value for them to acquire Bitcoin. So in theory, it is possible for them to do this. The question is, why do they want to do this? For the longest time, gold has been the go-to asset for national reserves, acting as a hedge against economic uncertainty. But with the world becoming more digital, the US wants to diversify its holdings with Bitcoin. There are 3 main reasons why they want to do that. First, to act as a hedge against the dollar's decline and geopolitical risks. As more governments start turning towards Bitcoin, this could undermine the dollar's dominance in the financial system. For example, imagine Russia and China started settling trades in Bitcoin and not the dollar, therefore cutting out the US and the SWIFT network, which, by the way, the US has already weaponized against Russia back when they invaded Ukraine. To maintain its influence in the global financial system, the US wants to control or at least own a significant amount of Bitcoin so that they don't lose their grip on the system. Number 2, they want to leverage some of the growth that Bitcoin will have to offset some of their national debt. The logic is that if they buy 1 million Bitcoin, if the price increases significantly, they could offset some of their debt with that Bitcoin. Just so you guys can understand what an incredibly large number $34 trillion is, if the US bought 1 million Bitcoin today at $80,000 a Bitcoin, what price would each Bitcoin have to rise to for them to offset that debt of $34 trillion? You can actually think about this while I go make some tea. Each Bitcoin would have to be worth over $34 million. That's just insane. And then third, to strengthen the US financial stability. A reserve asset should be uncorrelated to a country's economy so that it holds its value in a time of crisis. When an economy crashes, assets tied to that economy tend to crash as well. An uncorrelated reserve like gold or potentially Bitcoin would hold its value when the rest of the economy is losing it. But Bitcoin has been trading more like a high-risk tech stock than gold, so I'm not sure how logical this argument is right now. Let's assume that the US went through with the strategic Bitcoin reserve. What would happen then? Firstly, there would be a lot more governments and institutions piling in and acquiring more Bitcoin. This would cause the price of Bitcoin to skyrocket. There are only 21 million Bitcoin in existence, and if there is a huge spike in demand, the price of each Bitcoin will go up. And finally, we'll see a lot more regulatory clarity around Bitcoin. There's a lot of debate about if the US government is actually going to go through with this. Because they're cutting so much spending, because they're cutting so many jobs, it might not look good for the US government to start spending billions of dollars on Bitcoin. But I'm curious to know your thoughts. Let us know in the comment section below. See you guys in the next video.